Hey, welcome to the City Movement Podcast. Last episode in this awesome England trip. We've been traveling in the UK for, 7 days, 8
Yeah,
days?
7 full days. And now we're
Filming
back in
and-
Atlanta. And David, what time is it to our bodies right now?
It's like 2 in the morning, and we're exhausted. But Jeff, tell us what's significant that's happened in the YMCA here in this terminal.
There are thousands of people, tens of thousands of people walking around this airport. And the YMCA has millions of members around the world.
Well done. Okay. All right. So, Jeff, why don't you tell us a couple takeaways? We just had a big trip. God did lots of great things. Give us some takeaways and impressions of what you feel like the Lord's doing, what you learned.
Yeah, let me just say, first of all, it was an awesome, awesome trip.
Yeah.
I felt like the Lord was in the details and in the story. And I would say for me, it was so cool. I've been a part of this movement for, I guess I've been going to our city movement church for 10 and a half years.
Yeah.
I've been a pastor here for 7 years, but this is the first time I've ever done anything YMCA related overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so cool to just get a little bit of a feel of the international scope of the YMCA.
Yeah. It's
Truly,
huge.
the movement that we're talking about here is not an American movement. I mean,
Right.
it is an international movement, more so than an American movement.
Right.
And, it's just I tend to think of it through my American lens, and even it looks so different overseas
Totally.
than it does in the States. And it was it was a really cool thing for me to kind of view firsthand in England.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something about going back to the roots, back to the beginning of a great story that God was in, that it just inspires you that the Lord, what he once did is what he wants to do again. And I think even that's why, when you throughout the Bible, there's always the command, remember the work of God. And man, we just saw a great story. We walked the ancient paths. We kind of put our feet on the dirt of a farm that began everything. We went to the drape factory. We did it all. And I just think it was inspiring. It kind of lights us up with the global potential of 14,000 YMCAs.
Yeah, it was. And I was actually on the way on our 9-hour plane flight from London to Atlanta. I was reading a book. What's the name of the book that was written about George Williams 100 years ago?
Yeah, it's called The Life of Sir George Williams.
Yeah, and I was reading it, and it was just making me think, like, this was a little nobody boy from a farm.
Yep.
And he wasn't even a good farmer as a 14-year-old.
Right.
And it's just truly, I think it's just like evidence that it's a work of God.
Yeah.
This movement swept the world.
Yeah.
It's like God using someone who wasn't necessarily like fantastic according to human standards to do amazing things.
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Amen. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So today we were packing up our suitcases, and Ashley and I were taking the elevator up, and actually we're trying to go down, but we knew he was on the 7th floor, and as we were trying to go down, suddenly it appeared 7, so we're going up to obviously land on the floor where Jeff was going to be waiting for us. So I was like, Ashley, watch this. As soon as the elevator opens up, I'm going to go, "Wah!" and jump and scare Jeff. So we go up to the 7th floor, elevator opens up, and I go, "Wah!" and freaked out some gentle, kind-looking foreign individual who didn't speak English, was not ready for someone to jump out of the elevator.
David's really doing a good things for stereotypes of Americans
it's not
internationally.
Jeff Snyder.
For sure.
So
We did want to take a moment just to say to anyone who had just a hand in this happening, thank you.
yep.
Whether you're people at Antioch that have given to help this happen,
Yeah.
or if you're just a part of the city movement and you're in a church
Yep.
that is just supporting what we're doing and has bought into the vision, thank you.
Yeah, we're part of a great church that says, we're not just about ourselves and our own growth and our own story, but God's using us for part of something bigger. And so we love that we could be a part of a church that kind of lets us go do crazy things all over the world to shout out the voice of what God's doing all over the world.
Yeah,
so.
for sure. Any last thoughts before I close this out with a preview of the clip that we're going to show at the end?
Bro, you go ahead and do it, man.
Okay, well, we took one video clip that we thought might be a podcast session, but it's so windy that you can't hear a single thing that we said, but we're going to show it to you anyway. I want to let you know what's coming. We went to this place. I would say for me it's one of the top 5 coolest places I've ever been in the world.
Yeah.
It's on the south side of England, and it's called Old Harry Rocks. And we were there on probably one of the worst possible weather days that you could imagine. And we decided to try and record a quick podcast. So
awesome.
this is more of like for humor than anything else, this next 30-second clip. So why don't you hang around and watch it. Thank you for joining us on our travels around England.
Yes.
We've got, just so you know, I want to make sure you guys know what's going on. There's a documentary that we were capturing. This podcast was not the reason for us to travel England. So here in the next, I would assume, like, we're going to try and show it at Antioch this Sunday, October 10th.
Yep.
And
It's
if
launching
not
out.
this Sunday, for sure on George Williams' 200th birthday on Monday, October 11th. Look for it on Facebook. We're really going to try and push it around the world. So be looking for it. Help us promote it. If you've been watching this, like, share it on your timeline. Share it with people you know, the documentary that's coming out. We want a lot of people to see it. So enjoy this clip from Old Harry Rocks. Thank you for following along with our travels.
Tally ho.
Tally ho.